Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger and my friends. So we had the Street Fighter 6 showcase happen the other day and we learned a lot about Street Fighter 6 in general. However, in today's video, I would like to take just a little bit of a deeper look at the World Tour mode. From just what we had in the trailer, there's actually quite a few snippets about World Tour itself that we have now learned. Not only that, we had the playable demo launch yesterday, and while granted it's not a very expansive demo, there's still some things that can be learned from it as well. So I figured let's take a little bit of a deeper look at some of the things you may have missed about World Tour mode for Street Fighter 6. So first up in the demo, a lot of the billboards have changed since the original reveal trailers. One of the major things is Manon is everywhere on the billboards. Which, fair enough, makes sense. She's a fashion icon, supermodel. Everyone should know her in Metro City and worldwide. So yeah, her face is plastered on everything. On big billboards, on smaller sub billboards here. She's advertising a lot of things. Perhaps here she's advertising more martial arts stuff versus the fashion stuff she's advertising in the original ad. It looks like Manon will certainly take a paycheck. Also, advertising, our boy Abigail, he made it to the big leagues. An honest man doing an honest day's work. Now he can afford a billboard here in the Times Square, as it were, of Metro City. Good on ya, Abigail. Now, besides that, in the World Tour demo, there's a little bit of a walk of fame, I guess you could call it here. It goes through basically all the Capcom fighting games, from Street Fighter, Final Fight, Street Fighter 2, Saturday Night Slam Masters, Final Fight 3, Street Fighter Alpha, even lesser known games here like Red Earth, Cyberbots. Basically going through chronological release order. Just pretty interesting. And Final Fight Revenge, you don't see too many mentions of that game, right? But Capcom put it on the fighting game Walk of Fame, as it were. Other new advertisements that weren't in the original build here, you can see Blanka. So Blanka's born to fight, and you can see a lovely little Blanka-chan here on his butt as well, probably advertising that. Up here we can see some classic Street Fighter references, World Warrior, Champion Edition, and Hyper Fighting. Over here, maybe a reference to the Chihuahua from God Hand. I've seen some people reference that. Now, honestly, I've never played God Hand myself, so I'll leave it up to you to decide. I will say, though, the facial markings do match up here. Now, on to what was in the trailers. Out of the gate here, perhaps another look at an alternate costume. This almost certainly is Juri in her Street Fighter V look. We did see quite a few alternate costumes in the trailers shown off, but they were more direct, like on the screen. This is more behind the back, but if that isn't Juri, I don't know who is. So that is probably her alternate costume, and also goes to show that probably it looks like almost every character has at least one alternate costume out of the gate at launch. We don't have to wait for DLC packs there. Now, maybe we have to unlock them via gameplay. Say, go through World Tour mode to unlock the costumes. Like, say, how you would unlock costumes and alternates in Mortal Kombat games, go to the crypt, that kind of stuff. And that's a pretty good incentive, but as long as you don't have to pay for the initial batch of alternates out of the gate, that's pretty cool. Now, also shown in the trailer here is Li Fen, and really quick, let's look at her laptop. There is a bunch of fun little references here on the laptop. Not the least here, you can see Blanka up in the top left, Channel Eternity on the bottom right, that is our host, as you will, for Street Fighter 6. We got a little Lilith here from Darkstalkers, so I guess Darkstalkers is canonical as a game to the Street Fighter universe. And on the bottom left here, a big down, a small up, and a K, which effectively reads as charge down, hit up, and kick, aka spinning bird kick, just like Chun-Li. Li Fen is definitely a fan of Chun-Li, that much is very clear just from all the interactions we've seen. Now, a big thing that was showcased here in the trailer was the Master Actions. These are the moves you can do in the open world of World Tour mode that are learned directly from your masters, you know, Cammy, Ryu, Ken, whatever. The characters that you learn from, they will teach you these moves, and you can do some fairly major things in the environment with them. And one of my biggest takeaways from this is perhaps there's a bit of doubling up on some of these moves, which I guess you would normally take as a bad thing, but it could be a beneficial thing, just that means that you don't have to learn every single character in the game just to get the one specific move to do the one specific thing. Like in this example here, we have Sumo Headbutt and Cannon Drill, and they both seem very proficient at just destroying whatever object happens to be in front of them. So you would certainly probably need at least one of these moves, yes, but you wouldn't necessarily need both of them. So if you had an option to pick from Cammy or Honda, you know, if you like one character more than the other, you're not too interested in the other character, then at least one of them will give you what you need. In the same vein of thought here, we have Lily's Tomahawk Buster and Juri's Pinwheel. They both seem to advance up and far distance versus, say, straight up like an uppercut. That'll let you climb objects you might not otherwise climb. But just given the examples here, it looks like both these moves could accomplish this exact thing here. So once again, either would seemingly work, but you don't necessarily need both. So if you're in a position where you have to choose between, say, Lily or Juri, you don't necessarily have to pick both characters and level up and grind and all that kind of stuff. Pick one, and that's good enough. At least, that's how it reads to me. Now, of course, there is potentially moves that have no analog, right? Like, say, the spinning pile driver. Unless Manon's move is also a command grab of some sort, this would probably be like destroying items that are too solid to headbutt or cannon drill through or something like that. There's still so many unknowns, I suppose. Which I like. There's a big air of mystery around all this. Just all the moves you can do, how they infect your environment. It reminds me a lot of Mortal Kombat Deception, and that's a very good thing. I hope at least that the spinning pile driver is like the sumo headbutt we see here, and that's a move that you can engage battle with to damage the enemy before the battle even starts. Another thing that was in the presentation I wonder about is the fact that you can give gifts to your masters. So on its face, giving the gift to your master just like raises your level with them, your experience with them, and faster you progress, the more moves you unlock, all that kind of stuff. But what if Capcom's smart enough to add like a romance system? Certainly wouldn't be the only Capcom game where you can like interact with people and have romances, like say Dragon's Dogma, right? But if you could have a romance with Chun-Li with your creative character or something, that would probably put this game on a whole nother level in terms of how the fandom would treat it. So who knows, pure speculation, but save those gifts for your favorite character because they might come in handy, who knows. And now about traveling the world in the World Tour mode, some things have become a little bit more apparent. Specifically, which areas are major areas and which areas are minor areas. So effectively, Metro City and Nishal, these are major areas that have the blue underline. So these are like proper hubs to explore, adventure in, all that kind of stuff. And things with the more pink underline, they are just more smaller arena-based areas to go in. Still can explore, I'm assuming, like as we can see here with the arena. This is Marissa's stage, there's onlookers, there's people to interact with besides Marissa herself. There's a shopkeeper seemingly on the left. So maybe not as grand as Nishal or Metro City, but you can still explore. And now on this note here, because Marissa is obviously here on this stage. On the right of this, we can see certain characters' masters are affixed to certain locations and also to certain times. So Metro City, you can find Ken, Luke, Honda, and Chun-Li in the daytime, and Jamie and Kimberly are only available at nighttime. So day-night cycle actually matters as far as it comes to meeting and greeting a lot of the master characters. Now on the flip, going to Nishal. At nighttime, you can find Juri and JP, and daytime, well, they're actually hiding it from us. Blacked out here in the trailer, so I guess that's a secret for us to discover later. And now on the flip, the arena, Marissa stage, this is where you can find Marissa. So a lot of the smaller areas to visit, maybe they are not as grand to explore, but they'll still have a lot of masters there. And I guess don't go too crazy traveling because you have a finite number of plane tickets to boot. And for some other small tidbits here, yes, we have Carlos. We mentioned that in the video breakdown yesterday. And yes, Carlos has unique moves other characters do not have, which we also mentioned. But just to put it out there in case you didn't know, Carlos's sword slashes are absolutely his super from Final Fight 2. So it's a nice little reference there. Carlos doesn't have a lot of moves besides basic punches and kicks. So to see that return is pretty interesting. And we have one of our, I'm assuming, big bads here in the World Tour mode. This is Rudra. This is in Nishal, I'm assuming. Sort of looks like a dark turn for Dalsum. Like if Dalsum wasn't such a nice and caring guy. Now the name Rudra is a deity in the Hindu religion. But for Capcom fans, you'll probably know the name Rudra from Devil May Cry 3. Where Rudra, along with Agni, are a pair of swords you get from beating the bosses Agni and Rudra. So what I'm trying to say is the character Rudra that we see here in the World Tour mode, probably expect him to associate with a character named Agni, because that's just the Capcom way of things. Always with the references. And that's just some of the things I personally noticed with the World Tour mode stuff that was shown today. If I missed anything, or if you're an eagle eye and you caught something I didn't catch, by all means, please post it in the comments below. Really interested to see what's going to happen with the town in Nashal, because the whole reason Ken looks like Hobo Ken these days is because he's on the run for apparently destroying Nashal, or at least ruining it some way, somehow. And hopefully we can bring peace to the land that Ken Masters destroyed. He says he was framed, but I don't know. I don't buy it. Of course a billionaire would say that. And I'm not in the habit of trusting billionaires. But otherwise, my friends, that's it for the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Street Fighter.